great boldness in these latter days. So embrace these times, man. Embrace the collapse of your enemies, watching the downfall of your enemies. Because just like in ancient Egypt, what was a curse unto them, at the same time the Lord was blessing Israel. And that's the same thing for the elect. The Lord has already had the preach to the beautiful video this weekend and the provision. The Lord already has provision set for us. All we have to do is trust and believe. See, and we are witnessing miracles when we look at each other. Some people are waiting on something trying to disappear and some glorious situation. It's already happened. We're already witnessing miracles. The prophecies coming to pass, those are miracles because we can read about it before it happened. Now, as we go from glory to glory, there's going to be healings. All right, brothers are already doing testimonies, money popping up, food popping up. There's all kind of testimonies coming out, water popping up. You think that's just happening for no reason? No, these things are going to ultimately go to another glory. Right. Eventually, we're going to have the power to heal, which that's happened already. In the brotherhood, brothers have been healed from ailments that they've been dealing with all their life. Yep. You got a brother get up one morning and say, I got to drive and go heal this brother. And he drives down there and takes the oil and heals him, and the brother hasn't dealt with the ailment since then. We healed a brother in LA. When I went down to LA of something that he was dealing with. Okay, so the Lord has given us, particular power to do things here and there, but these things are getting ready to take effect on a whole nother level. But that's only for true believers, not for those who got a weak, fearful, timid heart and who doubt Yahweh Shema Shai. No, those things are coming to the true believers. And that's going to be peace for us, man, when these things start to happen. Because the Lord, with the hell that's coming, it's going to have to be more than a YouTube video. As the elder Itazawan from Atlanta said, we know that the Lord is going to ultimately open this thing up at some point. Because the video is going to be gone. Yep. So what are we going to have to lean on? We ain't going to be able to click on the video on that day. So the Lord, amongst the body, amongst the believers, all right, he's going to be getting you out of crazy situations. Okay? Spiritual things are going to happen. Angels going to appear. Food going to appear. When you don't, that stuff is coming, man.
You got to believe it. Like Pastor Boss said, you can learn all these scriptures.
Right.
Like, this is not for our entertainment. So what you learn now, this what you have to lean on in that day.
That's right. That's right. So we ain't just talking. See? These things are getting ready to take precedence. And you're going to need that. Because when shit get grim and crazy and the lights are out and all of this,
boy,
the Lord is going to have to work a work. He's going to have to deal with us.
Yep.
You see? Is some more in that, or is that pretty much it?
That was pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. All right, let's go to that. You got something?
I got 2nd Ezra 7. I got like the first 9 verses.
Hit it. Damn, 9. Okay, hit it.
Then drop down to 18.
Come on.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7 in verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before.
And Ezra's is a good book to read, for any brother or any sister, because there's a lot of questions he asks that you may have. Why this? Why that? Why would you do this? Why the Ezra's dealt with those questions, and when you read the whole book, that's one of the most beautiful books in the scriptures, man.
Yep.
That's why we always going into it, because it pretty much, we lean on Ezra's, man. A lot for end time prophecy.
Right. He asked questions that you would ask an angel.
Yes. Like, why? Well, damn, why we got to go through all this? Now we get it, but back then, he was having trouble with certain things. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he said unto me, Up, Edris, hear the words that I am come to tell thee. Mm. And I said, Speak on, my power. Say, my God. It's also my power. So he's addressing an angel. Mm-hmm. This is an archangel. Mm-hmm. But it says my God. So, just going back, to Genesis.
Yep. And I believe that was Uriel.
Yep.
The archangel, one of the archangels of the Most High, was sent. And when you look at the scriptures, the archangels were always around, all right, as we were in our captivities. Michael was around in the Persian captivity. Or was that Babylon? No, that was Babylon. The Babylonian, captivity. You know, Gabriel was around when we were in Rome. Raphael was around at the time of Tobit, which was at the time of the Assyrian Empire, I believe. Right? Keeping the spirit on the elect to basically fulfill the Lord's will, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3 again. And I said, speak on, my power.
Mm-hmm.
Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Right. If you don't go through the narrow, how you gonna go through get to the broad? And see, Yahweh Shai quoted this when he talked about the straight gate. He was quoting Esdras. There was a few times he quoted Esdras. People talking about the Apocrypha is not valid. Okay? But how could you get to the wide? Everybody's talking about the wide, which is the kingdom. But when it comes to the straight, either you got the Christians saying, well, we're going to be raptured out of that. And you got Israelites saying, that's Jacob's trouble already over with. We ain't got to go through nothing else. We already went through slavery. And it's like, all right. Go ahead.
Verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field. It is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep river.
Right, both deaths. You got the flood on the right, you know, on one side, you got, you know, the fire on the other side. And this represents tribulations, man. Because as you walk in this path in the straight gate, you can get burnt. You know what I'm saying? You feel it. You're a new man.
Yeah.
Renewed. Being renewed in the spirit. Born again. We weren't brought into this thing to just be the same, you know? There's things that I would have did years ago that I'm not doing now.
Right.
And that comes with wisdom, that comes with growth, that comes with experience. You see? Put therefore on the elect. Somebody get that scripture? Go ahead.
God, the last one it says, it shows up in action. You live it out, not just recall it. So basically it moves from your head to your nature. Okay, and that's the time that we're coming into where it has to be like muscle memory, like a reaction. It's just within you. And this is what it's so important, like I mentioned about the grace period. Getting this worked within you. Like the precepts, you can remember precepts and all that stuff, great, but when that time comes, you know, just like any other thing, you know, whenever a traumatic situation happens, a lot of times the average person will freeze up. They don't necessarily know what to think. They're kind of like caught off guard. That's the purpose of this grace period. Okay, that you have it within you so you know what you do. It's like muscle memory. It's natural to you.
Right.
So,
If what was that? Ecclesiastes 12 said what is the conclusion of the matter? Fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and keep thy commandments. That's the whole duty of man. We have to. It's certain ways supposed to walk in this life with that fear upon us, and that help us, like you say, get through the straight gate. That basically is within us. Like I say, when you're a child in this truth, you start off as a child, but you go into what? You do childish things,
Right.
and you start correcting things.
Right.
Because especially when you first coming out of the world, getting into the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but what? You grow in.
Right.
So some of the things you used to do, you start trimming those off.
Yep, I got something for you. This is Colossians 2:11 in the NLT. It says, in whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands.
Circumcision of the mind.
Okay, yep, go
Oh,
ahead.
that's why. And that's circumcision of the mind, that's spiritual understanding. You know, because we was Gentiles in the world, but they, you know, now the Lord, He's starting to give us that understanding.
Right.
That is that understanding is basically that circumcision, the trimming of the mind.
Yep. It says, in whom also ye are circumcised with the circumcision made without hands, in putting off the body of the sins of the flesh by the circumcision of Yahweh Shai. Wow.
You can be spiritual minded is life.
Yeah.
To be carnal minded is death.
Yep.
You got to basically put off the things of the world.
Right.
Love not the world or the things in the world.
Right.
The love of the world, the love of the Father is not in you.
Right. Well, you had those Jews back then that were boasting in their, you know, being raised as Jews, but their spirit wasn't right.
Right.
They were assholes. And here it is, you had these Gentiles, basically known as the wild olive tree. All right, the Israelites who were raised as complete heathen, just like us. We come in that fold, but they believed on a level that was impactful, beyond tradition, beyond physical circumcision, beyond fringes, beyond having all the phylacteries and being able to know how which your family, your father's was of this tribe. They knew all that. They had those records. And they were boasting.
Still was wicked.
But but that's how you know the law ain't the end all be all, because they were keeping the laws, but they really weren't keeping the law because they didn't believe on Yahweh Shai. That's right. But you had a group of men who came into the fold through faith, putting off the evil nature, putting off the idols, and basically that's what justified them beyond a guy who was circumcised the 8th day and had this position in the temple and that.
Just like Paul.
Yeah.
The Hebrews.
Yep.
And took down shot my shot.
Right.
Took him down to his knees.
Right. Well, yep. That's when he really came into the truth.
Yeah. He was raised right as a child.
He was raised as a child in of Tarshish.
Yeah.
Which pretty much that area was conquered by what's this devil's name? Antiochus. So the Lord used it because Paul was raised, that's how he knew Greek.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was raised in an area where he was familiar with niggas that was going off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he stuck to, he was of a family that stuck to the roots, stuck to the traditions, you know what I'm saying?
And some of the prophets that were
You know
killed
what I'm
by
saying? Yes, and he was putting to death, just like the Maccabees.
Yeah.
The Maccabees were putting niggas who weren't circumcised to death. You know what I'm saying?
No mercy.
They wasn't showing, you know what I'm saying? Niggas who was worshiping idols and sacrificing pigs, they was killing them niggas.
Playing right there.
So Paul was continuing that tradition. You see? But he came to the understanding that some of those niggas who were into those idols, those jakes who were into those idols, could come back into the fold through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice and be forgiven, man. You see? And that's basically the determining factor is now faith.
Right.
In the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah. That's why in Colossians 2, when it says your sins were nailed upon the cross,
Right.
to let you know that to go through, to get to that salvation, you got to go through Yahweh Shai.
Right. So a greater circumcision happened with them. In the putting off the sins that they were involved in and through faith. Because, see, the Christian way, you was about to say something?
No, it reminded me, is that second Maccabees? The 12th chapter, where they found Jake who believed, but they had them idols.
Yeah. And I think somebody put it in the chat today.
And they prayed for Jake because they knew they would come back.
Yeah.
But our brothers out they be in a
Right.
fully dedicated to Yahweh Shai.
Right. Because the Christian way is basically you can just believe in Jesus and you don't have to change.
Right.
You don't have to live your life by any order. No. You have to be spiritually circumcised, meaning you have to cut things off in the spirit. See? And you brothers who are coming into the fold, don't think you can just be the same nigga you were, man. Don't let these Christians hijack the fruits of the spirit in love and brotherly love. A lot of brothers, that sounds cheesy to them because of the Christian church, but we gotta put those attributes on too. Because that's those milky aspects of this truth is what's going to basically have you stable, all right, as we mature and go into the straight gate. You can't pass up the milk. That milk is key for your spiritual foundation, man. So we ain't just bringing these things out for no reason. We bring these things out because it's key, it's vital. You see?
I got one for you, Ashwama. It's
Yep.
kind of long. Ephesians 4:19 in the NLT on down. They have no sense of shame. They live for lustful pleasure and eagerly practice every kind of impunity.
Right.
But that isn't what you learn about Hamashiach.
Right. We didn't come into this truth, all right, to live those same lives we lived when we're in the world. Go ahead.
Since you have heard about Yahweh Shai and have learned the truth that comes from him, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life which is corrupted by the lust and deception. Instead, let your spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on the new nature created to be like the Most High, truly righteous and holy. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all parts of the same body.
You want to say something?
You got it, brother.
Yeah, somebody want to say
You gotta change, bro. You know, you can't, just like the elders been saying, man. when you come into this knowledge, that's how you know Christianity is a farce and a lie. You don't have to change, man. You know, you go to church for 50 years, been the same 50-year-old nigga. You know what I'm saying? The same nigga. They do the same things over and over. No change. You come to this knowledge, man, you gotta change. It causes change. It's causing the world to change. So many things happening in the world that's different than before.
Right.
Because of this word. Can I bring this out real quick?
Yep, and change comes with test. If you're not being tested in the spirit, you ain't going. If you ain't going through nothing,
Right.
that's because you ain't in the truth for real. Change comes with hardship, because you're growing now. You're reacting to things different.
That's why, what that remind me of, Sirach, the 2nd chapter. When you come to this knowledge, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to try you and test you, man. He's going to put you through things. But he says, when those things happen, when you get brought to that lower state, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Understand it's me that's doing this to you, as this is a test. So everything is a test, man, but that causes that change, like you said.
But then the reason why people don't get it, because they don't realize it's spiritual. They still coming from a carnal mindset.
Right.
That's why they don't want to adapt to the change. But when it happened to you on a carnal mindset, when you spiritual, now I understand and see the change is necessary.
Right.
Because Jake was still copying the behaviors of the world.
Right.
They don't want to change. It's the mindset has to change. When the mindset change, your vision get clear and you see things different.
Even when your daily life is just interacting with people.
Yep.
Many years ago, I flaw off the handle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now you
It takes time.
yeah. Like, bro, I just want to go home, bro. Or just, I got somewhere to be out at. You know what I'm saying? Make no mistake. You know what I'm saying? Step out of line through the spirit, probably out, but shot's gonna go down. But for the most part, it's like, bro, you got it. You got it, bro. That's why the elder always emphasizes just taking the low. Cause what do you have to prove in America?
Right.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
The proof is already in the pudding. What else do we have to do but ride the wave of prophecy and do the work? All right, fly under the radar until we can't no more. Because there's going to be a point where the Lord, we get ready to be put out there.
Right.
You had something put up?
Yeah, just going into that change. You got to change. This is 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, and verse 17, and it reads, "Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new." So again, you gotta become a new creature. You gotta change. You gotta make changes, man. You can't come in this thing being the same nigga. You know what I'm saying? But if I can read that in the NLT, 2 Corinthians 5 in the NLT, in verse 17 in the NLT, it breaks down a little better. It says, "This means that anyone who belongs to Hamashiach has become a new person. The old life is gone. A new life has begun." And that's there it is. That's pretty much breaking it down clear as day, man. The old, you got to get rid of the old, like they're the saying in the world, out with the old, in with the new. You know what I'm saying? That new man, that new creature, that new way. This is the new way right here, man.
The new song.
That new song. There it is.
That's it.
Then like you can't smoke weed and sell weed. You can't sell weed but then don't smoke it. No, this shit don't work like that, man. I don't smoke, but I still sell it. No, man. I got one real quick. Revelations 12 and 2 and 3 in the NLT. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by the changing the way you think. It's all about being renewed in the mind. The mind. This is the ultimate mind game right here. It's the mental.
Right.
Everything else go follow, man.
Right.
It says, for you into a new person by changing the way you think, then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect, right? Because of the privilege and authority the Most High has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves.
Yeah, don't be high-minded.
Yep.
You know, always, you know, hey, pray, be lowly, be humble. You know, ask the Lord for strength.
Man,
Acknowledge your weaknesses, acknowledge where you need to get better, and actually use the names of the Lord to do it. Don't just say, I got demons.
Yeah.
Because you know when you got demons, man.
yep.
Parasites, you snappy, you irritable, you mad, and everything, even brother. You know, what am I mad at the brother for? Because
Yeah.
he asked me to do something. You know what I'm saying? You be mad. It's demons that have you just mad for no goddamn reason. But when those spirits jump on you, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Ask for forgiveness and pray to the Lord to give you the strength to overcome those demons. Because it can be done. And a lot of times it's your diet too.
Yep.
You gotta change your diet. You weren't given this truth to just live and wallow in absolute filth all goddamn day.
Right.
Change your, you know, live like a noble to the best of your ability, you know, like a man of the Lord, man. Everything ain't French fries and potato salad. You
For
know?
real. Yeah. I'm gonna finish it off. It said, be honest in your evaluation of yourself. Measure yourselves by the faith the Most High has given us. Damn.
What was that?
Romans 12, 3 and 4, and 2 or 3 in the NLT.
Yep. So these are these things that they're looked at as milk, all right, but
Right.
the scriptures say desire the sincere milk. Because just like a baby, that milk is basically building a foundation for their future. It's building up their brain, it's building up their bones.
Right.
So in the spirit, without the milk,
Yep.
you say you
Can't
end up
skip.
like Deacon the Cop, looking like a funeral home director. You end up like Al-Azhar.
Oh boy.
They
See?
didn't have need for the milk. They wanted to jump into being scholars and being grown. You know, jump into the meat before they. You know,
Yep.
and it sounded, you know, good on certain level. They were able to bring, but they weren't built up. Their spiritual bones, you know, they're basically grown under undernourished,
Undeveloped.
underdeveloped niggas.
Lack of respect for leadership.
That's milk. Milk is that comes with the milk. Respecting your elders, even when you disagree, you're not gonna always agree with everything a man or someone over you may do, but there's a way to handle it. It's not like, you know, you come into this truth and you get elders and everything they do, you know, con. Some things you might be like, if you're around them long enough, you know what I'm saying? You know? But there's a way to handle it. There's a way to deal. But them niggas will go to the ops, silent at the TV to rebuke their elders.
Okay.
Vocab Malone to rebuke their elders. Now look at them. The Lord has pretty much gave them a reprobate mind, void of judgment. That's a terrible place to be in 2026. But that comes with having no regard for the milk.
Yep.
See that? That comes with having no regard for the milk, which is basically meant to develop you and prepare you for being a what? Grown up. That's what that milk does. It's something that we're even still here. Some of us weren't breastfed. You know, we've been on formula all our lives and government cheese and, you know, what's them Pop Rocks, Coca-Cola now laters,
Man, Pop Rock, that shit was
banana
pure
now.
crap.
Remember the banana joints?
Yeah.
Ding dongs.
Slow folks.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way we should be in our right mind right now, but we here. Hoghead cheese.
Oh
But
boy.
we've been developed by the Spirit.
Chitlins, you might have go.
Right. With everything that Esau threw out there at us in the form of our diet and the education and the music, we shouldn't even be here.
Cheetos, bro.
Hot Cheetos. And them was good too. You got to be honest.
Yeah, it was.
They had demons on them. But it's just a bunch of dye. You know?
Now you could of course, you can make it lawful, you know, but it's but
How you make lawful Cheetos?
the skins, you can do beef skins and then make up your own season.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Do a video.
It just goes to the point, like the elder saying, bro. We're very fortunate, bro.
Yeah, we're blessed.
Bro,
that you went into recently, so that proved, hey, we those rough stones.
That's rough stones. That's
That was
Yeah.
heavy, brother. That was deep. No, that's Yahshua. They on last Friday.
Okay.
Them not the rough stones, man. You know, that's what the Lord want.
You want the
You don't
rough
want
stones.
The finish.
Yeah, the polished stone. That's man-made. That's man that's doing it. He want the rough. In the altar, he don't want no smooth altar with gold trims and
Yeah.
all that. No,
Yep.
that ain't how you want that,
The
man.
rough stone, so he can work his work with the stones.
That's right.
And that's what's happening here in the spirit. Synonymously, you got something?
Kind of.
Synonymously, our enemy's falling. We got to curse his ass out too.
Absolutely.
You know? Enough, G.I. Joe moments, And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Now we're gonna curse Esau out. We'll get a few more.
You spoke on the elders earlier.
Yeah.
This Sirach chapter 6 and verse 34 through 37. It says, "Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee." It's like the elder was going into about the milk. I think that's Hebrews the 5th chapter. You gotta start with that foundation. All right, that foundation, without that proper foundation is likened onto a building.
Right.
It'll fall over. Right. That milk, that's for babes. Then once you get those years of experience and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in your belt, then you can upgrade to the meat. Okay.
Yep.
Verse 36, and it says, "If thou seest a man of understanding."
But we've seen Jake over the years that were hella deep with the meat, but they were milkless. I mean,